What I'm going to tell you, the person that conquered lack of faith, that is my own example. What I'm going to tell you is very private, but I have decided to do it because I am trying to communicate with you what I have learned in my life, and I hope you learn from me, and I hope I learn from you too. This is why I'm doing this. I'm doing this by choice. Many years ago, I would say 25 years ago, if I was told what I'm going to tell you, I pay no attention to it. But about 5 years ago, I had what we might call a psychic message. And the message was, your father is going to die. And he wants you to be present. Now, friends, as I said before, if this was 25 years ago, I would completely dismiss that message. I would even, perhaps even laugh at the whole thing. But 5 years ago, I did not. Somehow, I knew that it was a very important message. The problem was, how was I going to handle it? You know, I told nobody about this. Nobody. It was between me and my higher self. The problem was that my father was in a nursing home in Lisbon, Portugal. And I am here in America. So my question was, wow, how am I going to go? When is this going to happen? Is somehow somebody going to give me a date? How am I going to book my flight? How am I going to be informed of this? It could happen tomorrow, it could happen in 5 years, 6 months. Wow, how am I going to handle this? I decided to practice what I have learned through many years of inner search. What we may call meditation. You can name it. I have done it. It's not just to go and take these courses. It's to practice. All right? I decided I'm going to give this to God and let God help me. Now, some of you, dear friends, may not believe in God. The title of my show is Life Appreciation. But you do not have to believe in God. You do not have to say, I believe or I don't believe, because God is an experience. It is constantly going on. We just do not realize it, or we do not want to accept it. And if you do not like the word God or the concept of God, the way, whichever way you have been taught, replace the word by another word. Light, energy, Holy Spirit. Modern scientists use a lot higher intelligence and intelligence. So you can say, I gave or I give whatever is disturbing you to this higher intelligence, I chose to say, I give it to God. And I said, dear God, I know nothing here. I do not know tomorrow. I even forgot most of what happened to me in the past. I know nothing, but you do. You know my needs more than anyone else. I just got the message that my father is going to die, wants me to be present. You know the situation. Please handle it for me. I give it to you. Thank you. And I learned to say thank you always at the end of my messages. And I went on with my life. And in January of 1999, my friends, I had a 1-week vacation. And I knew that in advance, and I was dreaming that, oh, I'm going to the South Pacific. I started smelling the flowers, dreaming that I was going to swim in the warm waters. And at the last minute, don't ask me how and why, I decided to go to Portugal. Very few people decide to go to Portugal in January, but I said, I'm going to see my father, and I didn't say anything to them. I arrived and I called a nursing home and I said, here I am. I'm coming to see him. Oh, you're here? I said, yes, I'm here in Lisbon, Portugal. Oh, yes, come. Oh, he's all right. Only thing, he has a little cold. And my reaction was, oh, a cold in January is nothing. We all have colds. So I went. My friends, here comes the hard part. My father was waiting for me. And when he saw me, he was in the sofa in the living room. He said, sit here. And that was just among the, perhaps so, among the last sentences he said to me. I sat near him. My friends, I felt so comfortable. It was all beyond words. I was happy, I was comfortable, and so was he. When I sat down, it was very relaxed. And I started, hello, how are you? And he didn't say anything, he was just looking, and I, of course, opened my pocketbook and I started feeding him angel cake, which he loved, and he ate and ate and ate and ate. And friends, to make a long story short, within 2 hours of my arrival at the nursing home, I was in an ambulance with my father. I took him to the hospital and he died 5 days later. And this was the greatest lesson in my life so far. I may have more, but nothing like this has happened to me before. My father's funeral was beautiful. I cannot even describe in words. By the way, it was just me and my cousins. And to tell the truth, I wanted to be alone, but I wanted to be alone with him, but it was not fair, so my cousins were present. I think my next book would probably be about this great event, this great lesson. I conquered lack of faith. We all have stories to tell. I learned to appreciate life more than ever, and I hope you do. I learned that we are not alone. we can look within to find help to fight the sharks in our minds. Let us not allow the stones in our minds to prevent us from learning about who we really are. Let us not allow our emotions to give us stress and pain. You saw the 3 examples that I gave you. What happened between me and my father was a communication beyond space and time, and we think we are here all the time. The most important events in our lives are beyond space and time. This communication is always going on. There are millions of fears, there are millions of needs everywhere. And we do not really understand our needs, but there is a higher intelligence that does understand them. Before I end, I have something to show you. I am going to try and bring it closer. This is a castle. It is the Moorish castle. It is called the Moorish castle near Lisbon, Portugal. Built 6th, 7th century after Christ by the Moors, conquered later on by the first Portuguese king, who by the way was a teenager in the 12th century, in the 11th century after Christ. Why am I showing you this? This castle is built on the top of a mountain. There are rocks everywhere. I want you to look at these stones and imagine that these are the stones that you have built within your mind that are preventing you from healing yourself. Like the man who faced the sharks, like the woman who faced herself naked. And like me, I hope I've helped my father with my presence there. Before I say goodbye, and thank you very much for tuning in, I want to announce that there will be information about my website, which by the way is www.portugueseprincess.com. And also, if you do not have access to my website, I have a newsletter and an e-zine, and I write articles. If you would like to have them, call me or drop me a line, and I will send you copies, printed copies of my articles, which all have the same purpose: to help us all handle our emotions and remove the stones in our minds. Thank you very much.